Can you name the country these numbers belong to? More than 500,000, that's 500,000 people, are on waiting lists for consultants. More than 70,000 people waiting for surgeries and day admissions. More than 4,000 patients, including children and vulnerable elderly, on trolleys each month. Patients waiting hours and hours in outpatient and emergency departments, often days to see their GPs, and sometimes years to get access to diagnostics. Patients constantly pleading for access to medications and treatments to improve their quality of life. Doctors and nurses listening to them and not being able to help them. Welcome to Ireland, the country with the worst waiting lists in Europe. Even though our government like to think of us as numbers, we're not. Each number I mentioned earlier represents you or someone you might know. Your neighbour, your friend, your partner, your colleague, your sibling, niece or nephew, your parent or grandparent, your child. This is your country and it gets worse. 26 communities have no GP. 700 will retire in the next 5 years, and with not near enough applicants, who's going to fill those posts? 500 specialist consultant posts are currently unfilled. Nearly 20,000 nurses left Ireland in the space of 10 years. Recent reports show 1 in 5 primary care centres have no GP. This is a country where we're told by our political leaders we don't have money to fund all the staff, yet spend over 300 million a year in agencies and can build the most expensive and not fit for purpose hospital in the world, costing us nearly €2 billion. Now, I'm not an accountant, but the figures just don't seem to add up. The impact of not having staff or resources means many patients are often left undiagnosed, untreated and potentially harmed while waiting. Most will say that the care they receive when they get into health services is brilliant, but that's the thing. It's the getting in which is the problem. Imagine if patients were seen on time. They may not be on a list of drugs they shouldn't be on in the first instance. They may not have delayed diagnosis, leading to long-term health implications or even disabilities. They may not have mental health illnesses or conditions associated with waiting for treatments and surgeries. They may not be unemployed because they were given the treatments they needed on time. They may not require family carers and loved ones to help them who by default suffer dreadfully too. They may not have to keep going in and out of GPs or hospitals to manage conditions which should have been sorted out in the first place. They may not have to pay for private health insurance to get access to services which should have been provided in the first instance. They may not have extortionate medical bills and loss of earnings associated with not being treated on time. We could have a truly sustainable, economical, proactive model of care. The thing is, it's not the stuff made of dreams. Many countries across the world succeed in this. I just cannot see how our political leaders do not get it. Investing in staff, facilities, equipment and treatments are the key to saving money and, most importantly, saving lives. That might sound a little drastic, but think about it. In some areas, which are supposed to be staffed by 4 nurses, patients can often have just 2. One nurse can be responsible for up to 25 patients in any given area. It's not only dangerous for the patient, but also for the nurse. With all those GPs retiring in the next few years, and we don't have enough coming in, how are we going to be cared for? We do not have enough acute or community teams such as public health nurses, psychologists, pharmacists, physiotherapists, carers, occupational therapists, and much of all other health and social care professionals to meet our needs. What happens when we run out of specialist consultants? Some waiting lists are already up to 2 years and sometimes more. What use is an MRI machine without a radiologist? What use is a hospital without doctors or nurses? What use is an empty primary care centre? When psychiatrists start leaving our health system because of the mental health pressures they endure, what hope do the rest of us have? Imagine if all medical healthcare and social care professionals were truly respected and valued for what they do for us and were treated with the dignity and respect they deserve. This would directly improve patient safety and access to services. Okay, so obviously I know we do need the facilities, equipments and medications and treatments and buildings too. But we don't have enough acute hospital facilities. Of the facilities we do have, we don't have enough hospital beds. And then we don't have enough nurses or doctors to treat the patients in the hospital beds we do have. Thankfully, our government know we need facilities too. The problem is they just don't seem to pick the facilities and locations to put them. They don't mind asking the European Investment Bank for a loan over 25 years, of which we will have to pay back to the value of 490 million for the Children's Hospital. But they seem to have a big issue with trying to locate funds for refrigerators so our deceased could be treated with dignity and respect, or invest in medicines for patients to give them a better quality of life, or for that matter, even just beds so we can lie in. My name is Olive O'Connor and I'm an independent candidate for the Midlands-North-West in the European Parliamentary elections. In this, a real manifesto for change, I want to demonstrate to you how our political leaders make decisions about us, without us, which impact our access to healthcare and cost the state and also taxpayer billions each year. Did you know the overspend on the National Children's Hospital alone affects every person in Ireland? In short, 24 million will now need to be taken or reprofiled from health services right across Ireland, and another 75 million taken from developments such as our roads, education, research and sciences. That's all we know of right now. Who knows if we will all get another tax increase in the next budget because of it? So why am I running in this election? So in fairness, Irish politics for the most part doesn't have a great reputation. And anyone that knows me will have often heard me say I would never be a politician. I always believed this to be true. That is, until I eventually tipped over the edge when I learned about the astronomical wastage of taxpayers' money on the National Children's Hospital. The subsequent impact of this one decision by our political leaders, which is to be built in the wrong location, has and will continue to have on our children and all patients, carers, health professionals and citizens across Ireland. This is something which I cannot stand by and do nothing about. Once an optimist, I really wanted to believe our government and power could deliver on what they said they would. I'm now a realist. I'm tired of the disloyalty, the hypocrisy and the irresponsible manner in which our current political leaders, whom we voted in, treat us and our taxpayers' money. We need change and we need it fast. And that I'm optimistic about. I do think it actually can be done. Before I demonstrate how it can be done, I want to be super honest going into this campaign. The truth is, I really shouldn't be here at all. If our government were doing their job right, there wouldn't be need for people like me to work day in and out standing up for patient safety and citizens' rights. Parents, patients, carers and health professionals wouldn't have to feel the need to set up non-profit organisations to provide resources our government should have been doing in the first instance. Charities who often provide amazing services and care and who care equally about all patients often end up unwillingly pitching up against each other for essentially the same thing for their members: access, treatments, facilities, staff and services. Many of them feel they can't publicly advocate about decisions made by the government because many of them are funded by them or their providers. This often goes against the very principles of who these people are. The silent gag is far-reaching. Our government currently pay for the services they themselves are supposed to deliver, but then because they can't, instead expect the organisations, often set up by patients and carers, and more often with unrealistic funding or help, provide better service than they do themselves. The government ramp on and on about governance, yet do not follow the same rules themselves. I use many of the services from the groups I am part of. Often they speak out for me during the times I may lose my own voice. Many of them become tired, burnt out, and oftentimes broken. I myself am not broken yet, though maybe these elections will be the straw that broke the camel's back. In all seriousness though, we really do need to pull together and advocate for equal access for all. We can be stronger together, you know. Surely they can't get rid of all of us. I'm here because I'm tired of waiting. I do not know everything there is to know in politics, and I certainly do not have all the answers or solutions to the problems or the big questions I will be asked in the upcoming debates. But I also know that I don't have to know everything there is to know, because first, I have support from a strong team of advocates and specialists in this area, and secondly, I know the people that do know everything about healthcare. They are the people that matter. They are you. I am lucky not to be alone in this campaign for change. I am part of an independent group called Families Speak Out. Together with Ashley McNiff in Dublin and Colin Worthington in the south, we are 3 mothers representing each constituency in Ireland who are advocating for safer and more accessible health services across our country, all with experiences in different ways. Most importantly, we are advocating against alarming decisions that our current government are continually making, which directly impact our children and every child, patient, carer and citizen in Ireland. So who am I to talk about this topic? Okay, so I've both experience and qualifications in youth work, community leadership, social innovation and healthcare advocacy. My day job entails developing robust policies, procedures and guidelines for organisations across Ireland. I currently hold 2 separate international fellowships relating to patient safety and quality improvement, and have won numerous awards as a social entrepreneur. My role in working with patients and staff in the health service has been recommended by many, and my research has been published in the International Journal of Integrated Care. But that's not who I am. That's what I do. I also know a lot about our health service, as I'm a mum of 4 beautiful daughters who all have various chronic health conditions. My husband had a stroke at 42. I have been a family carer. I'm also a patient myself, albeit a healthy one right now. In the last 12 years, we've made over 500 trips to local health services and 200 round trips from Mayo to children's hospitals in Dublin. I know firsthand just how difficult it is to manoeuvre in and out of Ireland's complex health system. Not only is it frustrating, it is stressful, scary and traumatic, both to me and my children. Sadly, mine is not a unique story. Currently, 1 in 3 people across the world have chronic health conditions. In Ireland, this equates to approximately 1.6 million people having health issues such as arthritis, diabetes, asthma, cancer, heart disease, mental health conditions and chronic pain, to name just a few. This number only equates to those who aren't diagnosed, or who are diagnosed, I should say. Remember, many haven't seen specialists and often many are left not knowing what is wrong with them. The question is, would so many people be as sick as they are if they had timely access? Among acutely sick patients and our vulnerable elderly, even children are left in hospital trolleys. 117 children recorded in the month of March alone. You would think then, with a brand new state-of-the-art €1 billion hospital, this would make a difference. But guess what? There'll be no increase in hospital beds in the children's hospital by the time it's built. So as much as our political leaders say they will change things, I don't believe this is reflected in their actions. Our government continually say we need the hospital now, but yet don't listen to others who need other services just as urgently. How hypocritical is that? I feel our political leaders need to start investing in the service, not just the buildings that house the service. So how do our political leaders treat those that provide that service, the front line? Some of the best medical health and social care professionals in the world leave our little island behind to look after patients abroad. Equal pay for equal work is a huge issue. The facilities they work in often leave much to the imagination, and the workload they face is often unsustainable. These people keep us alive. So what is their worth? What is their value? What is the price on a person's life? How can sick and stressed staff look after sick and stressed patients? It makes sense. Happier, healthy staff equals happier, healthy patients. Without staff, we don't have a health service. End of. If we don't have staff in acute hospitals, then we can only look towards community-based models of care. And thankfully, our government agree with this. And their plan to bring about universal healthcare for all, with an innovative, integrative, community-based care model, became widely known as Care. Okay, so we're sorted, right? Well, no, not really. Because without healthcare professionals in the community, who's going to implement it? Nearly all GP practices are at maximum capacity as it is. Maybe it's up to us, the people, to fix it. Today, the people, families, parents and carers across Ireland are already trying to do their best to pick up the pieces from having a broken system. Many constantly trying to manage serious complex health conditions in the home, often with very little help from the government. Family carers, literally working around the clock, providing essential medical care to their loved ones, often with little to no medical training or income. I was one of those people. Why did I have to go and create medical toolkits on my own to help me and others self-manage health conditions in the home? Why am I here putting my neck on the line to try and create a difference? Today, my children, my family and the patients, carers, advocates, staff and charities I've worked with give me my strength to speak up and out with mothers, families, members and health professionals in our Family Speak Out community. We are strong, united and most importantly we get things done, oftentimes working with little to no resources. You know the saying, ask a busy person. I live and breathe my values and I will never be swayed by profits, politics, powers or position. I am an independent candidate for the European elections because this is what I stand for. Independence, fairness, and most importantly, democracy. Something we say we have but don't really. Not when it comes to things that matter about us and decisions. We have a constitutional right which says that the state may not do anything to harm a person's life or health. Yet our government continually make decisions such as not funding treatment staff or facilities, even though they were told by international experts, medical professionals and the public that their decisions could potentially harm or endanger patients or staff. If doctors went against best practice, they'd lose their licence. There's nothing proactive or safe about that. We have a reactive system. I'd like to try and change this. My belief is this. If we change the law of the land, we may change the way our political leaders make decisions in the future. If I were to be elected, I would like to put forward on your agreement a proposal that Ireland implements and actions the very core principles of the EU Human Rights Charter: accountability, non-discrimination, participation and equality. I would go out to Europe and scrutinise any loans Ireland currently has with the European Investment Bank and ensure that any new requests were in line with that the people of Ireland needed. I would make it my duty to ensure Ireland is spending that money exactly how they said they would. I would go out to Europe and analyse every single policy, law, directive or regulation before I even considered voting on it. I would look through the eyes of foreseeability and ask myself, what will the impact of that decision have on the people of Ireland? I would go out to Europe and ensure some of the most basic human rights, as set out in the Fundamental Charter, were the founding principles for the decisions I would make for you: equality, respect, dignity and non-discrimination. I would go out to Europe and put the patient's and citizen's voice right up there at the top table and ensure our voices are heard and actioned on. What would I do when I come home in between coming and going to Europe? I would hold our decision makers to account. I would invite all citizens to inform me of the issues they have with our system and send a regular report to our political leaders so that they are informed not just by numbers but by actual lived experiences. I would strongly advocate for the implementation of the fundamental right to health in our country. If the right to health, and it does, means that everyone equally has the right to access medical services, sanitation, adequate food, decent housing, healthy working conditions and a clean environment, then maybe the government would really have to think about things before they make decisions. So again, I ask myself, why am I here? I am here because I am tired of hypocrisy. Political leaders singing from the rooftops about equality, access and the citizen's voice, but ignoring my 16-year-old daughter's online plea asking our government to listen to her and her sister's fears about their children's hospital. 80% of people in multiple online polls and 60,000 people in Ireland had the same fears. The whole country lost the plot when they heard about the overspend. Were they listened to? No. The government didn't even consider a cost or time analysis. If we had a referendum on the issue, the people would have spoken. Where was the Citizens' Assembly for those voices? I am here because I got tired of waiting for solutions and tired of waiting for change. I don't and have not ever just talked the talk, I walk the walk. I empathise with your lived experiences because I lived them too. I want to create solutions whether I'm voted in or not. This is not about winning the election for me personally, it's about winning back our right to health and right to healthcare. I believe together we can create a new platform for health. I want you to think about real life scenarios people are going through today. Thousands of people pleading on phones to see specialists or travelling miles from home to access a GP and essential healthcare facilities. Vulnerable elderly, sick patients and children lying on trolleys. Patients and parents are stressed out of their minds waiting to get access to surgery and treatments. People work on every day of their lives to not get access to nursing homes without their land or homes potentially being compromised. That we can't afford it just doesn't stand up. I'll tell you what we can't afford. We can't afford to continue with our current system. We stood up and rallied against the government taking money from us for the water rates. So why can't we all come together and advocate for what is essentially the most important thing all humans need? Our health. If another recession hits us, where do we all stand then? Does the Children's Hospital even get built? We cannot say we have a patient-centred care model unless we involve patients in decision-making processes about their care or about the very policies which determine that care. I'm willing to take my role as an international advocate one step further and put it where it matters. I will listen, respect, collaborate and partner with those who do know how to get things done too. Our frontline staff in hospitals, primary, community and social care, and most importantly our family carers, our charities, our non-profit organisations, advocates and patients, all of whom represent the most important thing in healthcare, patient safety. I will do my absolute best to find a means to stop our political leaders from wasting our hard-earned money on things we do not want and spending carefully on things that we really need, such as access to healthcare, access to housing and access to safe working environments. As I said, whether I win or lose this election, I want to see an outcome from the discussions we as a nation will have over the coming weeks ahead. I believe Ireland needs a brand new independent citizen-led health platform, specifically to ensure every person's voice is included in decision-making processes related to our healthcare service and our money. I will put the patient safety agenda at the top of the political agenda. I will call these agendas to action. I am willing to take on the hard work, the debates and the potential backlash that can come with a political race like this, if it means that I, along with Aisling McNiff and Colleen Worthington, be your voice for your needs, and most importantly, turn this voice into true collective action. We're only human, just like you. We shouldn't have to run for elections, but we are here because we care too much not to. In saying this, don't underestimate us. We will ask the questions. We will challenge the decision makers. We will inform Europe about the issues in our healthcare system. I have my passport ready to go. We represent every constituency in Ireland. A vote for any of us is a vote for change. A vote for us is a vote for our loyalty and commitment to you, and is a vote for your independence. We are asking every citizen in Ireland to join forces and be part of the change to create a safer and more economical system for all who work in or use health services. We want you to have respect and dignity. No more talking, just action. This is not about politics. It is about you. Please join our online Family Speak Out communities on Facebook and Twitter. Even if you don't support us, you may find others there who can support you. Email people, let people know. Use the hashtag HealthFirst in every post. It will make it easier for us to find you and your story. We are supporting our young people who march for climate change and are not putting posters anywhere in our beautiful country. We are asking people to help us with our online campaign. We want to engage with each and every one of you. We want you to share your stories and opinions on the way our health system is run and how it impacts you, whether you're a patient, a carer or a health professional. You can do this anonymously or publicly, we don't mind. Share your story and we can be your voice for change.